Okay, awesome. I'd like to welcome Justin Thomas to the interview room here at the World Golf Championships Workday Championship at the concession. Justin, a different venue for the event this year. I'm sure you've seen the course today. Just some opening comments about the course and how it might fit your game.
It's a good track. It's all right in front of you. I think you have the opportunity to challenge some holes off the tee. You can play a little bit more aggressively. A lot of water, very typical Florida course in that aspect. But it definitely seems like an amateur golfer's nightmare. It's very difficult and grainy around the greens and a lot of elevated greens. And there's a lot of holes that we've had a hard time finding for pin placements because the greens are so severe. So if the greens were firm, it would be challenging, I think, is an understatement, but I think it's still going to be a good test, and with considering how the course will evolve over the course of the week.
Awesome. With that, we'll open it up to questions from the media. Media, go ahead and put your name into the chat, and we'll call on you in that order. First up is Shane Bryan with Golf Digest.
Hi, Justin. Since we're at the concession this week, everybody's thinking about the moment that inspired it, the actual concession. And it's interesting in that today it is seen as one of the great acts of sportsmanship in golf. But at the time, some of Jack Nicklaus's teammates were furious that he conceded this putt. And so I wanted to get your take on that, just kind of what you think of that moment, and maybe whether if you were in that same situation today, would you concede that putt, or how would you kind of approach that?
No disrespect to you or to Jack, but I truly have no clue what the story is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jack Nicklaus conceded a putt to Tony Jacklin in the Ryder Cup. If Jacklin had missed it, it would have been a loss for Europe, where it ended up being a tie, but the U.S. retained it. And then the Concession Golf Club is named after that concession.
Oh, okay. No, I would not have conceded the putt.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Next question, Adam Shupak.
Hey, Justin. Condolences on your grandfather. I'm just wondering if in the course of funeral and all the family being around, if you heard any new story that you never heard about your grandfather, something that really meant something to you.
Well, due to everything, unfortunately, we weren't able to have any kind of service or anything like that. So that was a bummer. But no, the probably the best story I heard was I really didn't know this, but I gave my grandma a couple of days. I texted with her, but when I called her and talked to her for the first time, she told me about how they actually moved to Columbus. So my grandpa used to coach up in New York at a place called Peak and Peak. He would go there 6 months of the year, then come back to Zanesville Country Club 6 months of the year. And so I guess my grandma didn't want to live in Zanesville. She wanted to move to Columbus or move somewhere else. And so one time when my grandpa was gone up in New York for 6 months, she had my dad's brothers come help her, and they moved all their stuff from Zanesville to Columbus. And when he got back, she said, "This is where we live now." And that was a story I never heard before, and was because she knew it. She wasn't going to be able to convince him that was going to be the only way to do it, is just to do it. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Another one for you, if you don't mind. They put out the video today of you and Rory trying to make the hole in one, 50 shots each. What are your overall feelings about how difficult was that, and what was your takeaway from it?
Yeah, it was in good fun. I mean, the 50 shots I think was good. And, those guys that have done 500, I don't know how they do it. I barely had the attention span for 50, and it's easy to get frustrated when you're hitting the same shot over and over again. But, I mean, it was cool. It was fun. I mean, the European Tour does a great job with their social media and reaching out to, an audience and making it, funny and also good to watch. And Rory and I had a good time doing it.
What has made you such a good match play player in Ryder Cup, President Cup, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I've been fortunate to be. I had been playing well, going into it. I think, that's the biggest part of it. Obviously, you got to have the mindset. You got to, make the putts when you need to. But at the end of the day, just like at France, as a team, we weren't playing well, and the Europeans were. And ultimately why we lost. So that definitely helps. But I mean, I enjoy the team aspect. I've had some great partners. I mean, in Jordan, Ricky, and Tiger. I mean, I like my chances with those three as my partner against most people.
How concerned are you?
Adam, last one.
Yeah, sure. As a follow-up, how concerned are you that if you were playing well when you had that success, how concerned are you with how you're playing at the moment?
I don't know if concern's the right word. I mean, I obviously always want to and wish to be playing better. But yeah, I'm just not exactly where I want to be with my game right now. But just like this game, you know, you always work to try to get out of it when you're not doing your best. So just got to keep working on it and hope good things start happening.
Thanks.
Next up, Steve DeMeglia with USA Today.
Justin, that's the greatest question, but have you heard about Tiger and do you have any reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sick to my stomach. You know, it hurts to see one of now my closest friends, you know, get in an accident. And, man, I just hope he's all right. Just worry for his kids, you know. I'm sure they're struggling.
On a lighter note, you played the golf course today. One of the reasons that they called this course the concussion was the greens. How are the greens, and especially how are they as you chip up to them?
They're very tough. I mean, like I said, I think this is an amateur golfer's nightmare. I mean, the greens are very elevated. It's very grainy. The grass is tight. You can hit it in a lot of spots around the greens where you're just kind of chipping it back and forth and having a hard time. So getting in the right spots is very important, but being able to execute the shots and sometimes just limit the damage is just as important.
Thank you, sir.
Next question, Ryan Labner with GolfChannel.com.
Just so I can see the emotion on your face. Has it been hard to be on the golf course these last 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough year. I mean, self-inflicted, but yeah, it's been tough. But it's just it's a part of life. Stuff happens. You know, I've been working on myself, and I've had great strides, and I feel like becoming a better and stronger man with the mistakes that I made. But you know, this is unfortunate what happened with my grandpa, and yeah, and just like I said, I hope Tiger's all right. But I just got to get back to worry about playing golf and try to do as good as I can, because that's the only thing I can control.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Another question from Shane Ryan with Golf Digest.
Hey, Justin. A big thing a lot of people have been talking about this year, mostly in regards to Tony Finau, is what it takes to win a golf tournament. And, you know, you've been on both sides of that. You've won a ton, and you've also come close and not won at different times. And other than the very practical part of making the big shots at the big time, can you pinpoint a psychological difference, something you did right or wrong in the times you won versus when you didn't?
There's definitely things I can think of. I mean, selfishly, I don't necessarily want to share them. I feel like it's an advantage, but I mean, the thing that Tony has that's going to help him so much is he's been there. He's put himself there. You know, it's one thing if he, you know, it's not like he's going out and not closing off mini tour events. You know, he's out here on the PGA Tour in majors and the best fields. You know, it seems like, you know, once every few weeks, once a month, he has a chance to win. And there's only one winner every week. So it is very difficult to be that one that everything happens right. You know, you make those couple putts when you need to, get those bounces when you need to. But he's put himself there, and I know he wants it. You know, maybe he just wants it a little bit too bad. But at the end of the day, you know, just law of averages. He's going to keep putting himself there. He's such a great player. It's going to happen. And I know he's a big favorite out here on tour. I mean, he's such a good dude with such a great wife, great family. All of them are so happy and supportive. He's been a great teammate in team events. I know I'm pulling for him, especially last week after missing the cut. You know, I didn't really have much pull for myself, and him and Max were both deserving champions. But he's going to be fine. I'm happy to see him playing so well, and hope he just keeps getting the credit he deserves for even putting himself there, if that makes sense.
I was going to follow up by asking if somebody, hypothetical player A, came up to you and said, Justin, I can't get over the mental hump on Sundays. Can you give me one piece of advice? But it sounds like that might be protected information. Or...
I mean, patience is always key. I tell everyone that, but I mean, there's just certain little things that I've learned. I'm continuing to learning. I continue to learn. I've had, I don't want to say plenty, but I've had a handful of chances, my last handful of times with a chance to win, that I haven't gotten it done. So clearly I can continue to learn and continue to get better. But the most important thing is if you don't put yourself there, and unfortunately if you don't fail, then you don't have that opportunity to have that learning experience. So that's something that maybe that's my advice, just to pay attention to little things that happen when you're in that moment, because you have an opportunity to learn from it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Last question here, Justin. Adam Shupak with Golf Week.
Yeah, just following up on what Steve just asked about Tiger. Is there a scenario, given how close you are with Tiger, that you might see yourself withdrawing from the tournament to be with the family?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think that's a very fair question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just found out about it. I need to get a lot more information. I mean, I just found out about this 10 minutes, 15 minutes before coming in here. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I just want to make sure he's okay before I worry about anything about me.
Fair enough.
Looks like that's it for questions, Justin. Thanks so much for your time today, and good luck this week.
Thanks.